As the supply of organic food grows around the world, we wanted to get a crash course in what all the fuss is about and whether it's worth that added cost. I talked about it with Mary Beth Albright, a food writer. She's the author of How Apples Grow, and she's also a food attorney.
Well, a certified organic food, it talks about the way that something is grown or raised. So it is a method of production. So let's say that you're eating something, a fruit or vegetable that is certified organic. It means that there are certain pesticides that can't be used. It means that they need to be grown a certain way that is better for the environment, certain watering practices, and especially with animals, that the animals needed to be treated a certain way. One of the big things about organic, certified organic, no GMOs. And that's a huge thing because a lot of people buy organic food just for the shorthand to make sure that they're not eating GMOs.
So despite the cost, there seems to be such a high demand. First of all, why is it so much more expensive?
Well, it's a great question. And it's the question that everybody wants to know, right? Because they see the raspberry sitting in the grocery store and it's $2.99 and $4.99. And they look exactly the same except for the label is a different color. Why am I paying so much more?
Right.
There are a number of reasons. One is that with the pesticides that you can't use when you're growing organics, it's more difficult to grow those raspberries. It takes longer. There are more bugs that go toward those raspberries, so more of them get eaten by animals and pests. And so it just takes a longer amount of time and you lose more of the fruit, so it's more expensive.
So a lot of people cannot afford to buy organic foods.
Yes.
Does that mean they face certain health risks?
Now, nobody really knows. There are a lot of different opinions about whether certain pesticides have impacts on the health of people. But if you want to be safe, there really are certain foods that you can choose that are organic that are a lot better when you buy them organic.
So let's talk about that. You
Yes.
mentioned raspberries. I think raspberries, strawberries is the other one I keep hearing about. Okay.
All berries, and that's a hard pill to swallow because they're so expensive when you buy them organic.
It's a huge price difference.
I know, and they're so teeny, and if you pull them out, it's like, oh my gosh, this blueberry costs 15 cents.
But what if you really rinse your non-organic food really, really, really well?
No, it doesn't get rid of that because the water content of that berry is affected by what it's been grown in, and that's the problem.
So the berries, we should all buy organic. What about the things that we can forego? We can say, okay, it doesn't have to be organic. Banana?
Banana, definitely, because anything that you don't eat the outside of it, that you peel off the outside, you're pretty much going to be safe. And a banana has a non-porous peel, so the things that are going into it, you're not going to need to worry about. Anything that has a big rind on it.
Okay, I feel like a really bad mom because I haven't always gone organic with the food I've gotten from my kids.
You don't always have.
Hopefully they'll turn out okay.
First of all, the food you put in your child is only one factor of whether you're a good mom. And the second thing is, it's one part of a total whole of what your child is doing.
Right.
And so, there are certain foods that you can go either way, but there are certain foods that it really does make a huge difference.
And finally, my last question, your thoughts on cookware. I didn't know that was an issue.
Yeah, well, it depends on some of the metals that are in the cookware, on the finish that's on the outside.
But there's such a thing called organic cookware?
Yes, in the same way that there's organic clothing, in the same way, and that's more for people who are concerned about how the things that they consume affect the environment. That's less about immediate health of what you're putting in your body and more about long-term health of the planet. Because we're really talking about two separate things. We're talking about what we're doing right now to ourselves, and we're talking about what we're doing 100, 200, 300 years from now to the environment, whether the practices that we're using with food are sustainable.
I learned a lot. Mary Beth, thank you. Thank you very much. Mary Beth Albright, food writer and author of How Apples Grow. We appreciate your time.
Anytime.